Hi book lovers, welcome back to my channel. I am back with another book haul, another monthly book haul where I share everything that I got, all the books that I got last month back in November. It's not too crazy of a book haul this time, though of course there are going to be some unboxings, some special editions, and books that I bought for myself, but it's nothing crazy like the last few months book hauls, so I will get to take my time with these books instead of just rushing through them all. But before I get into all the books in this haul, I did want to share the sponsor for today's video. Today's video is sponsored by Ana Luisa. I am very excited that they have partnered up with me again. They sent over some new pieces of jewelry my way and I am obsessed with them. If you haven't heard of them, Ana Luisa is a jewelry brand. They produce high quality, gorgeous high quality jewelry with sustainability in mind. So if you're looking for some new pieces of jewelry or you want to gift someone for the holiday season, Ana Luisa would be perfect. They currently have a holiday sale going on where it's buy one get one 50% off. I did get some new pieces, some new earrings from them, and I love them so much. They are so cute. So my first pair of earrings, these ones I actually wore in my last video in case anyone did pay attention. They're called Medium Frida. They're pearl hoop earrings where it's a small little hoop with a dangling pearl at the bottom. It's simple but really gorgeous at the same time. This next pair is called Kiara. They're chain hoop earrings, so it's a little hoop with 3 dangling chains all at different lengths, and they look amazing. They're definitely more on the fancier side. And then this third pair is the gold hoop earrings called Cuidado. What I love about these though is that they're not the typical hoop earrings where it's perfectly circular. They are a little oval shaped and they're not too big, so it's perfect for something casual or for the office or even something fancier or nice. It's great for literally any occasion. And then my final pair is probably my favorite of the bunch. It's this double hoop golden earring. It's called Ash Double with 2 connected hoops, and each hoop does have a different texture. Here is how they look on me. Again, it is the holiday season, so if you're looking to gift someone, gift a loved one a new pair of earrings or a necklace, go to Ana Luisa. They have a fantastic holiday deal going on. You can also use my personal code Lacey Booklovers 20 for 20% off your order. I'll have a link in my description to the Ana Luisa site with my discount code. A big thank you again to Ana Luisa for sponsoring today's video, and back to the haul. For this month's haul, I did get 2 arcs this time. I got a historical romance and a fantasy romance. This fantasy romance is by an author I believe is a YA author, and this is her adult debut. This is called A Crown of Ivy and Glass by Claire Legrand. It's got a really nice, very fantasy looking cover, and it's out in a couple months, out in May. Okay, so she is the author of Furyborn, which I have heard of before, but never read. This is the start of a new fantasy romance series that's perfect for fans of Bridgerton and A Court of Thorns and Roses. So it's like a historical fantasy romance. The heroine is the only member of her family that does not have any magic, and deep down she's really depressed. The hero is the only surviving member of his family and he wants to restore honor to them. The two of them form this little deal where she'll help him navigate high society and he'll help her by destroying her family's enemy. I'm assuming the high society part is, you know, the historical romance slash Bridgerton aspect to this book. It does sound interesting though. It's the first book in a trilogy. It's an adult debut. It's pretty long too. It's over 500 pages. This book probably would not have crossed my radar if I did not receive this arc from the publisher, so I'm thankful that they sent this to me. And then my other arc is the historical romance by KJ Charles. I have read this author before, but I think it was just her indies, and this one is traditionally published. This is called The Secret Lives of Country Gentlemen. It's an MM historical romance. The back says, an unwary gentleman and his charming smuggler prince find love amidst skullduggery, danger, and murder most foul. So the smuggler prince part definitely has me interested. Okay, and it's a second chance romance. The two of them were lovers before. They reunite because when one of the heroes becomes a new baronet, he is asked to testify against the other hero's sister, who is part of this family of Smugglers. It sounds very fun, very unique. I'm all for smuggler historical romances. I've also been meaning to read more KG Charles, so this is perfect. For some books that publishers sent my way, I got this historical romance by Virginia Heath. It's one of the cutesy illustrated historical romance covers in trade paperback. I'm personally not a huge fan of these illustrated covers, these cutesy covers for historical romances, just because I don't think I've really loved much of them, though I haven't read a lot of them anyway because of this cover. It's called Never Rescue a Rogue, and I do like the tagline on the cover. It says, "If you want to remain an independent woman, never rescue a rogue." I have yet to read Virginia Heath though. This is the second book in the Merriwell Sisters series. It's enemies to lovers. The main characters hate each other, but everyone else thinks that they are meant to be together. She works for the newspaper and he loves his bachelor lifestyle, but then something happens where they're forced to work together. Blackmail is involved and the heroine is the only one that can help the hero discover his family's past. And then I was sent the new Pippa Grant book. It's called Rich in Your Love. It's about a social media influencer, a sugar-free social media influencer. In secret though, she is restoring this cacao farm in Costa Rica, but she needs money from her trust fund to do so. And the only way to get access to this money is to do some charity work in a small town. And by charity work, apparently that means helping a local reformed bad boy. I don't think I've read Pippa Grant before, though I've heard a lot of things about her. I've been wanting to try her. I know she writes rom-coms or small town romances, so they are at least something that I'm interested in. She's more of an indie author though, but this one is one of her traditionally published books. I also was sent the new Nora Roberts. This is part of her urban fantasy series. It's The Choice. It's the third book in the Dragon Heart Legacy series. It's got some really nice end papers because it is Nora Roberts and she can definitely afford all the fancy stuff in her books. But this is the final book in this trilogy. I haven't read it though, but I really need to get on more Nora Roberts books because I read her for the first time this year. I mean, I read her Nora Roberts books for the first time this year because I read J.D. Robb years ago, but I did fall in love with that Nora Roberts book. It was one of her old school stuff. Haven't touched her new stuff though, but she is still pumping them out. I got this book from Ilsa Madden Mills. She sent me a signed copy of The Princess and the Player. I've read her Game Changer series, her other sports romance series, but I have not read this new series yet. It's the Strangers in Love series, and this one is book 2. It's about an NFL player and a jilted bride who meet at a masquerade ball. Literally, when the heroine gets jilted at the altar, she goes to this masquerade ball. He's there to celebrate his birthday, and the two of them, I guess, do their thing, but they are masked up so they don't know who the other person is. But then there's a surprise pregnancy and it turns out that they live in the same building. So it sounds fun. I love a good sports romance and I don't mind surprise pregnancies, but I do want to read the first book before getting into the second one. Penny Reed sent me her newest release, which I am very excited about. This is Folk Around and Find Out, which is book 2 in her Good Folk series, her new small town romance series that is a spin-off of the Winston Brothers series. It's set in the same small town, the same world and everything. It's Hank's book. Hank is Bo's best friend, Bo Winston, and this romance is like a boss-employee type of romance. It's not quite the office setting though, because it's set at Hank's club, and the heroine is his newest exotic dancer. So it sounds interesting. I did read the first book in the series. I thought it was okay. I didn't love it quite as much as the Winston Brothers series, but I do plan to read this one soon. And even though book 1 in the series was a miss for me, I do generally really enjoy Penny Reed. I also got these 2 books from Karina Halle. These are the first 2 books in her Underworld God series. It's her new fantasy romance series. Book 1 is River of Shadows and book 2 is Crown of Crimson. The covers are gorgeous and I did really enjoy book 1, so I'm happy to have these. Both books do follow the same couple. It's about this girl, Hannah, who falls in love with the god of death. It's a Finnish mythology retelling, but it still has some Beauty and the Beast vibes and Hades and Persephone vibes. Anyway, I loved book 1. Highly recommend it if you're looking for a fantasy romance series to read, and I'm definitely gonna read book 2 soon. soon, probably closer to when the third book comes out. And then I got this cute little holiday package from Sadie Rose, who I have never heard of before, but it is a cute little package. Here are some stickers. This one says the Lazy Bear Resort. This little Christmas decoration, it might be holly. I don't actually know what holly looks like. Some chocolate, a candy cane. Here is a keychain with the Lazy Bear Resort logo on it again, and a bookmark. And then there is the Christmas book, which is called Coal and Mistletoe by Sadie Rose. It's a Christmas romance. It takes place at this cabin resort from the heroine's childhood, and the hero is a workaholic. It sounds very Hallmarky. I'm sure the hero will learn that work isn't everything. And then this next one is The Man I Never Met by Elle Cook. It's an epistolary romance, though I don't know how romancy it is. The heroine gets a call from an unknown number and she ends up talking with him. They start texting and everything and then end up falling for each other. I got quite a few books that Berkeley sent my way. This one is the new Jen DeLuca. It's been a while since the last time I read her, but she does have a new book out. It's Well Traveled, which is part of the Well Matched series, which I've only read the first book. Still, it's another Renaissance Fair set romance, and I don't know if I should know these characters, but I don't recognize them. This one is In It to Win It by Sharon C. Cooper. This is a second chance romance. She ghosted him years ago, but now they're both entrepreneurs and they are competing for the same property. And not only that, in order to get that property, to win that property, there's a whole Iron Man competition. No idea how that's supposed to work, but it does kind of sound hilarious. This next one is What You Gonna Do by Avery Flynn, and the cover is made by one of my favorite cover artists, which automatically makes me want to read this book. It's Lenny Kaufman, and she has such a recognizable like art style that I feel like a lot of people can just instantly recognize when she does a cover. It's a witchy rom-com, which has been kind of popular the last year or two, and I haven't had the best luck with them. I've enjoyed maybe 2 out of 10 that I've read, but I'm really hoping I like this one, mainly because of the cover. But it's a witchy romance where the heroine comes from a family of witches, but she herself doesn't have any magical powers until she does and sets this curse accidentally on her family, and the only one who can help her undo it is her nemesis. And then this next one is from Kosoka Jackson. It's his newest foodie MM romance. I read the one that he released last year, which was like his adult debut, adult rom-com debut, and thought it was okay, but I'm always a sucker for all the foodie romances, so I will probably end up reading this one as well. It's called A Dash of Salt and Pepper, and if the illustration of one of the heroes is any indication, he is an older man with some salt and pepper hair. But both the main characters are chefs, and one of them has just been hired to work at the other's kitchen. The owner of the restaurant is also a single dad, which is always great to read, but I do love the idea of reading a romance which has 2 cooks, 2 chefs instead of just one, which is usually what I come across in foodie romances. And this last Berkeley romance is called The Spice Master at Bistro Exotique. It's by Samantha Varant, who is new to me. It's another foodie romance with a chef heroine who's about to open this new Parisian restaurant, but then everything ends up failing and now she has to work with the son of the Spice Master of Paris, who is another chef, and of course he's a jerk. I did end up buying a few books for myself last month. This one is the new Jennifer L. Armentrout. I bought the Barnes & Noble special edition of A Light in the Flame. Why did I get this when I didn't even love the first book in the series? I did not really enjoy A Shadow in the Ember. I mean, I don't know why I bought this, but I did. I do really like the embossing and the foiling though, which is always my kryptonite. And the naked hardcover itself also has stamping on it. I am a little bit behind on this series, on this whole world. I still need to read The War of Two Queens, and then I can get to A Light in the Flame. I'll catch up eventually. I'm just not in a huge hurry to do so. I love the first 3 books in the Blood and Ash series, but then I was a little disappointed with saw the spin-off, the first book in the spin-off, so that kind of turned me off from continuing, but I will get to them eventually. I found myself this hardcover copy of Lover Revealed by J.R. Ward. I've been slowly hunting down all the hardcovers that I'm missing in the Black Dagger Brotherhood series. I am still missing the first two, which are like the hardest to find unless I want to spend hundreds of dollars on them, which I do not. This one I found for like 30 bucks, which isn't too bad compared to the other prices. So I snatched it up even though Butch is one of my least favorites in the series. And then I got not one, not two, but 4 Krista and Becca Ritchie books. Okay, I did have 2 reasons for doing this though. One, it was because Amazon had this 3 for 2 sale going on. They had it so many times in the fall for some reason, but then I saw that Krista and Becca Ritchie had 3 of their books that I needed that were part of the whole 3 for 2 sale, because they only have select books on there, and also it is so hard to search for anything on that deal page. I hate it. So I got Fearless Like Us, which is book 9 in the Like Us series. This is the last book that I read in the series. I still need to read books 10 and 11. I've just been holding off because I'm not a huge fan of the throuple romance. And then my second reason for getting all these books was that Krista and Becca Ritchie, their Addicted series and the Calloway Sister series, the whole 10-book series got picked up by Berkley, so all the original covers were going to go out of print, and I still needed to get the special editions, the hot guy covers of the Calloway Sisters books. This one is Kiss the Sky, which is my favorite because it's Connor and Rose. Although technically Kiss the Sky wasn't part of the 3 for 2 sale because it was on sale on its own, so I bought it as a separate order. So Kiss the Sky is book 1 in the Calloway Sisters series, and then I got Long Way Down, which is Reich and Daisy's second book. The third book I did order as part of the whole deal thing, but Amazon didn't have any copies on hand and they pushed my arrival date to January, so I still need to wait for Feel the Fire to come in, but hopefully the cover is still the hot guy cover. So I had 3 of the 4 special edition Calloway Sisters books ordered, and I figured I would wait a bit for Hot House Flower, wait a bit to order it, and then of course this was the first book that actually got taken down because the Berkley book replaced it. So I had to go straight to eBay and get myself a copy before there were no more available. And thankfully I was able to find one. This is the hot guy cover of Hot House Flower. I do really love these covers though, literally because of the guys on them. I already own the original covers and everything, but I couldn't pass up these editions. And then I got quite a few special editions last month as well because that's just who I am now. This is from Hello Lovely box. I got 3 packages from them last month. This box is the Catherine Cowles box. I believe it was the summer seasonal box. Catherine Cowles was the featured author, and then if you got the bouquet box, it also came with 2 surprise authors. So this is the Catherine Cowles book. It is Shattered Sea. This is what the pretty special cover looks like. It's part of her Tattered and Torn series. I believe it's book 4. This one was the latest one that I read. It's a small town romance. There's some good romantic suspense, and the whole box itself is very much small town oriented. One of these surprise authors is a new to me author. This one is called Serena's Guide to Searching for Someday by Cynthia A. Rodriguez. It's a second chance romance set in a small town with a single mom. It's a second chance romance between her and her former professor. And then this one is yet another small town romance called In a Jam by Kate Canterbury. It looks super cute and it also sounds very cute. I think it's a marriage of convenience romance. The heroine has to move back to her small town and also get married in order to save her tulip farm. And the hero is a former high school classmate who had the biggest crush on her back then, who is now a single dad. There's also this cute little candle that says Falling in Love. That smells so nice. It says apple, sage, and head over heels for fictional characters. A jar opener, it says romance is my jam, and a falling in love chapstick. The latest trope of the month box from Hello Lovely box also came. This is their sports romance trope. It's Trial by Fire by M.E. Carter with this gorgeous cover and a very sports-like back cover. It's a romance between a hotel heiress and a professional goalie. I've only read one Emmy Carter book, and to no one's surprise, it's her groveling romance. It's her cheating groveling romance. That one, I loved it and hated it, and I have been wanting to try more of her stuff, so this one is great. If it's anything like the other book that I read, it's probably gonna be angsty and very dramatic. And then the spooky box came in early November. It did get delayed for the spooky season, but they're here. This is the gorgeous special edition of The Dark Ones by Rachel Van Dyken. It's a vampire romance, and I don't know if you can tell, but there is some serious foiling and embossing on this cover. The red foiling is just so stunning. I am so obsessed with how it looks. I actually read this one years ago when it first came out and really liked it. I just never continue with the series. And then this one is by a new to me author, Kate Pryor. It's a 2-in-1 paperback. It's got books 1 and 2 in the Claws and Cubicle series. Book 1 is called Love, Laugh, Lick, and book 2 is called The Orc from the Office. So both of them are monster romance novellas. The first novella has an undead necromancer lord for a hero, and the heroine is his secretary. And then the second novella is, of course, an orc romance. They sound cute. I mean, the cover looks cute too. I'm always on the look for new monster romances, so this one is perfect. The box also came with these 2 spooky related goodies. This is like a ogre or orc hand that is for holding onto like a Kindle or a tablet. And then here's a glass cup with some skeletons on it. And then one of my favorite special editions that I got last month is this gorgeous edition of Running Wild by Kay Tucker with some beautiful rose gold foiling. The paperback itself is stunning, very much that Alaska vibe to it. I mean, it's trees and snow. That's Alaska to me. I haven't read this book yet. It's actually literally next up on my TBR. I just downloaded it on my Kindle, but it is a spin-off of the Simple Wild series. I mean, technically it's part of the series, but it's about a new couple. And then my last special edition set that I got last month is this giant stack of the Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac series. It's the special edition hardcovers from Dark and Quirky. I have read book 1, which is Dark Fae, and did surprisingly really like it, which is why I got the whole series. But I also really love the artist who did these dust jackets, and that's partly why I also bought them. But here's book 1, which is Dark Fae. It has Elise and a unicorn on the back. Here's book 2, Savage Fae, with Dante on the cover and his dragon on the back. Book 3 is Vicious Fae with Leon, who is hilarious, and his lion on the back. Book 4 is Broken Fae with Gabriel, who is a harpy, and he is probably my favorite so far. And then book 5 is ginormous. It is so chunky. It's called Warrior Fae with Ryder on the cover, and this is his basilisk on the back. So it's a paranormal reverse harem romance series. There's some shifters, there's some harpies, and the main character herself is a vampire. I was surprised by how much I enjoyed the first book. It was very addicting, very silly, but still fun. It was mostly the whole reverse harem part that sold me on it, but I will get to finishing up the rest of the series, even though this last book is humongous. But hopefully I do love it, and it made me buying these books worth it. Also, the naked hardcovers do have art in them as well, and I don't know if you can see that well, but the spines do line up. Oh my god, these books are so heavy. But here's what book 1 looks like. The naked hardcover for book 2, book 3, Vicious Fae. Here is book 4, Broken Fae, and book 5, Warrior Fae. Moving on to the final part of this haul, some non-romances. I got some YAs, non-fiction. This one is the non-fiction that I got. It's the new Michelle Obama book. It's called The Light We Carry, and it's a follow-up to her other book, which is Becoming. I got this fancy little box for Saint by Adrienne Young. Here's some gorgeous fan art. I have not read the series or this author, but I do always love some good fan art. And then of course here is the book itself. I've heard great things about the series. If you love YA, you probably have heard of it. It's even got a fancy map on the end papers. I got another box here. It says, "They're not here to make friends, but they just might fall in love." with each other. So it's for a YA book, Never Ever Getting Back Together by Sophie Gonzalez. These are some stickers. Here's a little rose decoration. And here is the book itself. It's got a really cute cover and I do love how it sounds. It's about two girls who have the same ex-boyfriend and they go on this reality TV show and end up falling for each other instead of that boyfriend. I got this arc of One Italian Summer by Rebecca Searle that my friend Desiree sent me. It's actually such a nice arc. I don't know why they spent so much money on it, but there's some freaking gold foiling on it. Like, what? They must have had such a big budget for this, because even regular paperbacks, finished copies, don't get this kind of treatment where there's foiling and embossed lettering. Here is Dead in Gondola by Anne Claire. It's a mystery, a cozy mystery set at this bookshop. And then this last thing in this haul is not even a book, but it is book related. It's a tarot card deck based on The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. It's called the Phantom Wise Tarot and it does look really nice. I have not read The Night Circus, but I've heard all the good things for it and I do someday want to get to it. But here are some of what the cards look like. I don't know, I couldn't really resist getting this because I do love bookish goodies like this. But that's it for this book haul. That's everything that I got last month in November. As always, if you haven't read any of these books, if you have any thoughts on them, please feel free to let me know. And just a reminder about Ana Luisa, there is a link in my description for you to check out. You can use my code for 20% off or do their buy one get one 50% off sale. I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you all next time. Bye!